Smear faces, Lord, they hate to hear your message. Though I'm geared with your protection, your armor that I've been blessed with, no stressing. When I'm trying to teach them all your lessons, they looking at me crazy like I got a weird perspective. Smear faces, Lord, they hate to hear your message. Though I'm geared with your protection, your armor that I've been blessed with, no stressing. When I'm trying to teach them all your lessons, they looking at me crazy like I got a weird perspective.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Derry, and this is the Weird Perspective. And we are in the off season. This is the second time around, so this is our second series of the off season. The off season is when I interview people who I admire, who I got a lot of respect for. And today I have an amazing couple. They're going to be the first couple to start off my series, which is called The Myths of Marriage. And so today we're going to be diving into the myths of marriage. We have a whole bunch of expectations before we get into marriage. And so sometimes those things can look like, oh man, marriage is going to make me happy, or marriage is going to solve all my problems. Or for some of us guys, the biggest thing is I'm going to have this unlimited amount of sex. And we have these expectations that are not realistic. And so today we are going to talk about them. But first, I want to introduce my guest. This man is the West Side best rapper, coming all the way from Lawndale. He has 2 albums. I think the third one is on the way. He'll tell y'all about that in a second. He's joined with his amazing wife. Give it up for the Brewers, Antione and Amber. What's up, y'all?
What's the word, man?
Speaking to the mic. Oh, man, how y'all doing today?
I'm good.
I'm doing good.
Just
Feel
had me
good.
some
Yeah.
good food.
Yes,
I'm ready
good.
to go watch the game.
Okay. What game is that?
Dallas versus OKC.
Okay, who you got?
Luka and Kyrie.
Okay. You gonna watch the game with them?
Yeah, I typically do. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I won't hold y'all up. We're gonna try to get in and get out of here. But before we start, I want y'all to give a little bit about yourselves. What y'all do, where y'all from, and how long y'all been together.
Okay. I guess I'll start with me. Okay. Well, born and raised in North Lawndale. I think both of us were. We just didn't know it up until this point. But born and raised in North Lawndale. What I currently do. So right now I am not working, as I am currently expecting. But we are
Hey.
expecting. So baby's coming in about like 3 or 4 more weeks.
Baby Brewer.
Yeah. Um, what do I do? But what I did do previously before leaving work for a little bit, I did commercial property management at a couple of the high rises downtown.
Nice.
So I was at the Blue Cross Blue Shield Tower for a few months, and then went up the street to the 150 North Michigan building. It's the diamond shaped building in the sky. You'll know it. But did that for a little while. But yeah, real estate is my passion. So currently studying to get my managing broker's license. Right
Okay.
now, I currently have my broker's license, but I want to be able to self-sponsor my own license one day to have my own business. Because I'm interested in more so real estate development, that field. So studying to get that right now, but that's where I am.
Nice. You doing big things, man. You doing big things. Mr. Antoine, what's up, man?
What up, man?
What you got going on, bro?
Well, I work for a youth organization called the Young Men's Educational Network. I'm one of the program managers, and I run a program that I started. It's called Saved by the Ball. We just expanded in January to working with adult males. And the adult sector of the program is called In the Gym Off the Streets. And what I do is I build relationships with men around the community through the game of basketball, trying to help them get jobs and build relationships and rub shoulders with people who could potentially help them further their lives in a productive way. And Saved by the Ball is basically a youth mentoring program where I use basketball and faith to build relationships with youth.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Nice. So y'all a little power couple over here on the west side of Chicago doing big things, huh?
You're doing something.
Doing
There is
something.
right?
What's going on with the music, man?
Currently, well, I just finished my third project. It's called A Letter to the Saints, and that's releasing June 1st. Previously I released an album called Bigger Picture. I did an EP with my younger brother that was called Under Pressure. And so I just create music to try and give the youth something positive to listen to. And I work extremely hard to try and make sure it ain't corny. I try to be extremely authentic, but real at the same time.
Yeah.
So
My kids like brother, brother. That's what we
Oh,
bump in the
okay.
car. And
Okay.
then one of my favorites is Free-ish, Empathy, and then what's the title of the song you made about your mom?
Mama, I'm proud of you.
My mom proud of you. I like that one too. So, man, make sure y'all his music gonna be in the description, the link to all his music. So make sure y'all go and support. But today I'm gonna have him back on later, another time. But today we're gonna talk about marriage and you guys' relationship and how y'all met. So,
Yeah.
how long y'all been together?
About
Uh,
11 years now,
11
right?
years.
Yeah. So
Thought it
I
was like
think,
6.
yeah. So
We've
probably
been
like
married
6
for
years
5.
in. Yeah. We've just made the 5-year mark of our marriage. But yeah, we've been like from high school times, like including that, about 11 years now.
Man, I was way
Yeah.
off. I thought y'all met in college.
Yeah, you should ask more
Sort of.
questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
fire my
no.
research team. My bad. All right. So how did y'all meet? Tell me the
Do you
story.
want to tell it?
I'm gonna
You
let her
tried to
tell
you
it.
tried to back her
Okay.
down,
Yeah.
didn't
Because
you?
he's
You
not
tried
going
to
to tell the real story. But. But we met at summer camp in Lake Geneva at a camp called Covenant Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up going there because I was on punishment, so I
You sound
wasn't
like a
supposed.
Christian camp. Is that a
Yeah,
Christian
it
camp?
is a Christian camp.
Anything
Yeah,
with
it's a
covenant in
Christian
that,
camp.
most
Yeah,
likely a Christian
yeah.
camp.
But I went there on punishment. So initially, I didn't plan on going to camp, but I joined my younger sister that weekend since a spot was available. But so this part gets confusing because we always try and see who was staring at who first, but I probably was staring at him because he was probably staring at me too, and I was like mean mugging everybody on the bus because I didn't want to be there. Um, but yeah, I think just a few days into camp, he walked up to me and taught me how to shoot a free throw, unless I'm missing some
Yeah,
details.
she
But
missing a whole lot of details. We just saying random
okay.
stuff.
How
But
old were
so
you
so
guys?
What?
How old were you guys?
so she was probably
I
I
had to
know
have
I
been
was
like
probably and
16.
I was probably like 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so we was on the bus and I wasn't paying her no attention because she looked like she was like 11 years old, 12 years old.
I
I'm
did
like,
look like a
She
child.
still looks
Yeah.
pretty young
I'm
even
like,
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. I had
I'm
a
not
Crack don't
regular
even
crack, you
baby
know what I'm
face.
saying?
Yeah.
gonna let you do it unless you smoke it. You know? But yeah, and she was looking all hostile, which I really didn't notice that she was looking hostile because I really didn't care. I was just thirsty to go to Covenant Harbor because I've been there a few times and it'd be busting. So I'm thirsty to go to camp. So we get there, and then me and her younger
Mhm.
sister was like my brother because
Yeah.
she was like a tomboy
Yeah.
and she always played sports and stuff like that. So that's how I knew her sister. And then her sister and her and one of their friends, they was what y'all just came from the lake or some. And
Probably.
me and my brother and some people from the camp, we sitting by the little park area. We sit down and we all talking and stuff. And then I fig and we got to talking and getting to know each other, everybody in the group. And then I ended up figuring out how old she was. And then I'm like, okay, cool,
You
whatever.
like, I could shoot my shot now. She up in
No,
age.
Yeah.
no, no, that wasn't what I was
Well,
thinking.
i-
Cause I didn't. It ain't like I liked her. I ain't even know her. I went to Covenant Harbor simply because it was busing. Like that's all I'm thinking about there. I ain't gonna tell you anything else. But anyway, but but yeah. So and then we ended up getting to know each other. And then she was jocking my chain. You know, we was in there during free time. We was playing. I was playing basketball, and she just pranced her little butt over there, acting like she wanted to hoop. And then I'm like,
oh my
dang, you suck.
God.
Let me teach you how
I
to shoot a
wasn't that
free
bad. I
throw.
beat him at the 5-on-5, so I wasn't that
She had
bad.
on this green jumpsuit looking like a Jolly Rancher. You hear me? Now I taught her how to shoot a free throw, and the rest is history.
That's hilarious. You want to add any details you left out of that story?
Okay, so I mentioned I won. Yeah, I wore, yeah. The jogging suit, that's a real that's a real detail. I don't know why I wore that.
So
But
since y'all been together, or y'all at least been knowing each other since y'all was 16, 17, when did you officially ask her to be your girlfriend?
So when I got to know her at camp, her sister, I was trying to get in contact with her through her sister. Her sister, because her sister knew me. Like I told you,
Mhm.
me and her sister was like
Yeah.
this. Her sister was like my brother, and so I was like, "Hey man, give me your sister number or put me on with your sister." She was like, "Boy, you ain't even her type." I was like, "She don't even know what her type is. What are you talking about? Just give me her number." And she like, "All right,
That's
whatever."
true. This is true.
She gave me her number. I called her, but she didn't have her phone.
Yeah. I was still
I
on
ain't know that,
punishment.
but I kept calling her or something. I wasn't used to having phones, no way. So I didn't get a phone till I was like junior or senior in high school anyway. So I didn't all that weird stuff that people was doing when they was in high school. I wasn't doing none of that. I was just trying to get in contact with her. I didn't know
Mhm.
that was considered like being thirsty or stalking. Eventually, I stopped calling her. Then when she finally got her phone back, she called me, and then that's how we started talking.
Yeah.
I went straight in. I'm like, "What's up?" And then we started dating. Then she dumped me.
What
Yeah,
you
it was
what you double for?
No,
so
it don't even matter. It don't even matter.
I'm like you I was about to say I'll share the story. It was nothing he did. He was a really good guy. Um but I've
She almost
just
fumbled the bag. That's what she did.
Let her
oh
speak,
god.
man. Let
Yeah,
her
okay,
tell
we'll
the
talk about
story.
your fumble in a little bit. But for now I'll just talk about mine.
I fumbled
But
that.
but there was still a guy. I just felt like I didn't have a proper closure with the previous guy, so I didn't want to just pursue him like in a relationship. Like he really was like he did nothing wrong. Like it was like
That's a
nothing
real
bad
thing for
on
high
his
school
end.
kids not having closure.
I mean, for me, it was like
High
naturally,
school
I'm
girls,
just an
yeah.
emotional person. So it's like I've always been pretty and like intact with my emotions. So it's
Gotcha.
like I can't do another person wrong if I haven't like closed out something else. So it's like it was just something I just had to do.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. That's nice. Very mature of you. Very, very mature of you. All right. So, what's the next step or the next chapter in y'all relationship? So y'all met. It
Mhm.
was towards the end of high school.
hmm
Did y'all go to college together?
We did not. We had a long distance relationship. Yep.
No. So the next
Well,
step is I treated her like the scum of the earth for like
oh
what
yeah, we didn't talk about
a
that part. Yeah.
whole year
She said she forgot
because
about that part.
she didn't
She
even
had
give
forgive
me
you like
like
the Lord. Your sins
she
were
never
forgotten.
even like when she broke up with me. She ain't give me no information about anything. I can't force her to be with me. I can't
So
force her
you
to
was
go.
like, why she broke up with me? I ain't do
Yeah,
nothing. So you was feeling the way.
yeah. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, whatever. But you want to be a lame? Don't worry about it. And I was just going out of my way to be mean to
You
her.
really show your
It
Chicago.
really was bad
Right?
though.
I was going out of my way to be mean to her.
Okay.
But I'm naturally a nice person though. So it ain't like I was being like super OC. I was trying to be mean, but for some reason is I guess I was welcoming because she stayed around me for some way somehow. I know me and her sister was close or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's real easy to be like, oh, you finna go over there and he be over there. Like, I ain't going over there. Now she still kept coming around.
Okay.
And so, but I ended up getting into another relationship. And that relationship, the relationship itself lasted probably like 3 weeks to a month. But getting rid of the person was like, dang near what, a year? Trying to
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, um, but I was all in that relationship. I was locked in, giving it everything that I had. And it just wasn't working. Mainly because we was high schoolers. I had the mindset of whatever relationship that I get in, I'ma treat it like this is the last one. And I was like that my whole entire life. And until I got older and became an adult, I didn't realize that no, that's not what high schoolers do. They out there just trying stuff because they lack the perspective of knowing that this could end like any day. Like what you wasted your time. Like this could actually be your wife. This could actually be your husband. Whatever you do now will be held against you forever. right? Even if people love you through it, it's still something that you've done. Or
Mhm.
like, how did you treat this person? How did you treat this person? And so I always took that into whatever relationship that I had. And I ain't really had that many relationships. If I was dating somebody, it happened right then and there. Like it wasn't no all this weird stuff that they got going on, talking about talking stages, all of that. That didn't exist with me. It's
Should have had you on
are
the
we to
dating podcast
are
talking about
we
that.
now I'm serious. Like, are we together or what? And if we together, okay, bam. And we go into the hard stuff right away. And what that did was, I guess that was God's way of helping me filter out all of the people that I didn't need.
Mm.
And the person who I was with before her, I guess I wasn't like hard enough early on, right? They was able to fake it a little bit, and then eventually, they tend to. It ain't like the person was a bad person either, though. They was immature, and they didn't know how to. You know how she was like, "I'm gonna do this because this is the right thing to do. I want to have closure over here." It ain't that type of mindset with other people. That person wasn't the person that I'm talking about wasn't in a relationship. I'm just saying they didn't know how to cut things off.
Yeah.
I want to live my life this way. You want to live your life this way.
Mhm.
We not aligned. Let's just, you know, cause ain't no such thing as be friends with me. What am I spending time with you for? Like, I don't need no
Yeah.
girl as no friend. I'm a hooper. I play basketball. I don't need you in my life. So like, go ahead. But that's how that happened. And then, after that relationship ended, um, then you can share your part, whatever. Because your part, I can't say my part without your part, and
Well, what
just
part are you
connect
talking
stuff.
about?
I'm saying after my relationship had ended.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess Colin then. So I had another like quick relationship that lasted probably that was probably going into my senior year in high school before
Mm.
we started like making things official again. But yeah, that was a really quick relationship for me. That was about almost the entire summer, so we'll say like 3 months ish.
Okay.
But yeah, but I ended up breaking things off. That was like a mutual agreement because we just knew we didn't click right. So with me going into my senior year, I was like, okay, so I don't want to stay in Chicago. And like, I'm just going over all the things that I want, like in a college and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't see the same potential or morals that he kind of cares about, like me, like similar to what I care about. So I was like, I don't know if I want to pursue the relationship. Um, but yeah, it was just more so me growing up and like having a mentor at that time really helped me realize, like, okay, I can start over and just kind of just take things slow, like get to know myself a little better. So kind of just, regaining my confidence with actually being by myself and not really, because I hopped in and out of a lot of like very like I guess I would say I was a serial dater. I was a serial dater in high school of like hopping in and out of relationships, kind of like speed dating almost in a sense. But yeah, what that was kind of like the last relationship where I was like, yeah, I really need to figure out like who I am and stuff like that to work on my confidence. And I'm just going into the new school year, just ending it on a good note. So we just mutually agreed to break up. Like, yeah, this isn't it. Like our goals aren't in the same area, like where you want to be and like where I want to be in my life. So
Okay.
so
And
yeah,
so
we
and
ended
y'all went to
that.
different high schools, right?
We did, yeah.
Okay. And so you ain't know about those relationships.
Mm.
Cool.
I wouldn't have dated her.
I could imagine. I probably be like, damn, nah, straight. Something about the knowing and the visual. Yeah,
Yeah.
for guys it's different. So I feel you on that. Um, so y'all graduate, y'all go to college, and how did y'all make a long distance relationship work?
So when she was a senior, I was a freshman in college, and that's when we had started dating again. But so the relationship that I was in, while we was not dating, right? Um, I'm not the type of person to make the same mistake twice. Like everything that I did in their relationship, like the amount of compassion, empathy, patience that I had in that relationship. I wanted to take it into this relationship too with us, right? But the negatives that came from that, right? Understanding, okay, you can't be too lenient early on. You can't do this. You can't do that. A bunch of different stuff. Immediately, soon as I sent when I let her know, like I don't even recall exactly what the conversation was, but I know specifically it was something like I was telling her like the next person I date, this is forever. Like I'm
Yeah.
not into no dead end relationships. She was a senior in high school and I was a freshman in
Freshman in
college.
college to say that, that's a bold statement.
I was like, so if you're not trying to do it forever, like I'm not trying to do it at all. And she was like, okay. I'm like, I bet it up. And then
I could
from
imagine you said that too, like while y'all
but
talking, like I bet.
and so
We together now.
and what came after that was even more hard questions.
Okay.
Like everything, like asking
Mhm.
everything, all of the things that I wish I I would have known to ask the person that I was in a last relationship with that could have potentially prevented some clashing. Like I'm asking her all of that all the time, and that was from when she was a senior in high school all the way while she went through college and I finished college.
Mhm.
4 years.
It was what that was 5 years worth
Yeah.
of questions asking
Yeah.
like the hardest
Long
stuff.
distance the whole 5 years.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Um, any question you think of, any question, like stuff that people try and tiptoe around, like I was asking all of that.
Yeah,
Like
specifically about like my past relationships. That's something that, or like on both of our ends about like past relationships. That was probably like one of the first thing,
and
like we talked
and
about.
what
Yeah.
happened was it made some uncomfortable conversations because the way that I went forward into every relationship was way different than hers. And so I didn't have too many situationships. She had a lot of situationships. I didn't.
I just heard about this situationships like 6 months ago.
And
Somebody said that
and
at
that's what I
TikTok. I
mean.
was
Like
like, what
like
is
Yeah.
you
that?
get into a relationship
Yeah.
based on the convenience, or you get into
Mhm.
a relationship based on proximity. You get in a relationship based on pain and all of this different
Yeah.
stuff, right? But me, that's when I was really getting serious about my faith. And I'm from North Lawndale, K-Town, the holy city, like all these places. And imagine being on the phone with a girl and saying, you shouldn't let me say stuff like that, cause you are like, nah, you should respect yourself. And they like, no, it's okay, no, that's cool with me. And you like, yeah, no, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then you try and call them again, and then they don't answer. That's God answering your prayers, like, yeah, they ain't ready for you. Or you being respectful to a girl and they saying, and you too nice,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that,
How
right?
did you feel about those questions?
I mean, they were tough, but like I was fairly new in my faith walk journey too. So yeah. Yeah, I was like really fresh in my faith journey. So I was just willing to give it a shot. But yeah, I was a little open-minded. I mean, I'm not used to talking that much in relationships, honestly. So or having like more in-depth conversations at that level. So, I mean, it was like really uncomfortable, but I was like, well, I really do like this guy. Uh I mean, I don't mind answering the questions. I just hope I don't get judged for it or anything, or like I'm growing from it and kind of just explaining my point of view. But yeah, and he didn't judge me for it.
I could imagine 18, 19, 20 years old. You kind of like, what? What's these questions?
Yeah.
And even though y'all might be from the same neighborhood, I'm pretty sure y'all, uh, how y'all grew up, y'all family dynamic is different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, how did you grow up? Two-parent household, mom and dad, or how was it?
So mom and stepdad in a sense. I had a father figure,
Okay.
but I mean I still had a pretty good relationship with my dad growing up. Um but yeah, like I'll say we always had a male figure around. Um but yeah, my mom was there. I'm super involved in my academics, super involved in um I mean, outside of school, like who I hang with, the company I keep. Um, what else? Yeah, pretty much that. I mean, I really didn't get to explore the neighborhood up until being married now, and I'm kind of coming back to the neighborhood because it's just you just had certain. It's pretty much our lives were mapped out. So I lived in K Town before my mom moved us out to the suburbs, but from um like early childhood all the way up to like I was about 15, I lived in K Town. Well, North Lawndale then, like, yes, specifically K Town area. But yeah, like it was just we just had a very specific map of like where we could go, where she
Yeah.
could see us and stuff like that. So I had a very hands-on, very strict mother. Yes.
Okay. Antoine.
Mine's the total opposite. I was able to go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, just come back alive. That was it. I
No
was
curfew?
raised. Nah, ain't no curfew. Um, come back alive. My mom and my dad both struggled with drugs, so they was in and out of jail for most of my life. My grandma, I tell people this all the time. People throw that raised you word out real easy, right? But what she did for me was provide me with shelter. And what I learned from her is not something that she taught me. It was just stuff that I saw her do. And I took the good, used it, took the bad, and threw it away. But my mentors, the neighborhood, whoever I allowed to invest in my life, that's the people that raised me for the most part. Um, I lived in different parts of K Town, but with any kid, like where you at for the time being, you automatically put parameters around where you go and where you don't go. And it has nothing to do with fear. You just feel like everything you need is right there. You only know what you know until you realize what you didn't know. And so that's what it was for me until I moved across Pulaski and went toward the Holy City, which was 13th and Central Park, Central Park and Douglas, all of that. The only time I crossed that street before moving over there was when I was going to the White Man Center. My church was across the street from the White Man Center, which was in K Town. White Man is across the street from the church, which is in the Holy City. The Holy City and K Town is both North Lawndale, right? And so we got our corner stores. We got our strip mall right there. Like we don't gotta go across Pulaski and go to a home in the go in that little strip mall over there. We can walk right across Roosevelt and go to where we need to go.
Yeah.
And so you do whatever you comfortable with, and ain't got nothing to do with fear or nothing like that. But yeah, and I grew up in a house where at one time it was like 23 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
People sleeping in a closet, people sleeping on the table, people sleeping under the table, people sleeping on the floor. All of your cousins are your brothers and sisters because y'all grow up together from babies. And then um since we was always over capacity and we're in the apartments or something, we end up getting kicked out 6 months later. And so that's why the whole entire North Lawndale feel like home to me because I done been in so many different places. I lived in probably about 15 to 20 different places all in North Lawndale.
Wow.
And so yeah. So yeah, our stuff was way different. But
Okay.
in a sense, like we both had got 5 other siblings.
Yeah. We're
We
both
both
number
the
five
fifth.
out of number five out of
Like
6. Yeah.
So it's some similarities, but that's all that matter though. The similarities. I don't really care about the differences. It's the things that you have in common that draw you closer together. So
Yeah.
I don't really care
Man, so
about
many
that.
different things that I want to ask about our relationship, but I want to stay on topic and the reason why we're here, which is talk through these expectations of marriage. And so you guys went through 5 years of a long distance relationship, and before you got married, did you guys, as soon as you got out of college, you guys got married or what?
About like 3 weeks later, you ended up proposing. So
Man,
kind of
that's
sort.
crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I graduated
After
in
she
May.
graduated
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah. After I graduated. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
graduated in 17. She graduated in 18.
Yeah.
Okay. What was some of the expectations you had on marriage that once you actually got married, you realized like, oh, it's not real. Maybe you picked it up from the neighborhood or people that you were around, or
Mhm.
maybe it was like a TV show or
Mm.
something like that. We all get different views from different places.
Mhm.
What was some of yours?
Mm.
And then once you actually got married, you was like, oh, that's not what it is.
Well, I come from like a household where everything is out in the open, and like all the negatives, the drugs, the sex, the no structure, all of that. So
No, hold
when
on, wait. What you say?
no structure,
No structure. Okay.
so automatically like sex is the number one thing, right? You think, yeah, we gonna have sex all day, every day,
Every
right?
day, four
Right.
times a day, and six
And
times on Sunday.
Oh my god.
and then, but that's like a terrible myth, right? Like, and it's not just. Not only was it in my home and it was just that real, like all types of like at a young age seeing porn because of the people that's around you, like totally inconsiderate. Like it was crazy. Like seeing that stuff. So being
Mhm.
exposed to sex and all that stuff at a young age, and you go into it, you think that's what relationships are all about. Um, but when you get into it, you like you cheating me. What you doing? You my wife. Girl, throw that out. Just
Oh my god.
no, but I'm for real though. And so, and you miss it. Like you will miss it, bro. When the it that I'm talking about is the beauty of being in a relationship, a lifelong relationship with somebody that knows every little thing about you and still chooses you, right?
That's real.
And so you got people who fall out of that covenant simply because they trying to hold on to that fake stuff. That fake stuff. They think that their wife is a porn star. They think they wife is a sneaky link, all type of stupidness. You miss it. And then you ruin that covenant. And now your whole life is miserable because you idolized sex over the covenant of your marriage. And I wouldn't have been able to get to that if we didn't have 4 years away from each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't have 4 years away from each other, we would still be trying to figure each other out right now. Like the stuff that we want to give to each other, like the information, like you know how when you meet somebody new, you want to tell them everything, and then you meet somebody who you love and care about, and you like they love and care about you, and you want to get them every single thing and give it out. If we weren't 4 years away from each other and had that time to be able to do that, and we tiptoed around reality, we wouldn't
Yeah.
be where we at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why them 4 or 5 years was huge.
Amber, what was your biggest? Well, not it don't have to be the biggest, but what was
Mhm.
one thing that you could speak to as far as um
Yeah. I'd probably say the level of independency um versus like interdependency. Um but yeah, I don't know. I always just felt threatened or like offended when I felt like something was always being like conjoined together and stuff like as one. Because I was like such a self-sufficient person. And just been taught that way. And I feel the way the American dream, because I mean, that's something I've dreamed about since I was a little girl. And like finally getting into like a relationship, it was like, yeah, I can still have like my own, and he has his own. And it's like
mm,
when it's time to come together, like you just do that, like for the sake of doing it. But it's like once I got married, yeah, it's like all that changed. Like what's mine is his and his is mine and stuff like that. But
all the money in one bank account?
we have a savings. I'm like, we still have our college debit card. So it's like that hasn't been
Really?
conjoined, but we do have like a savings where we both contribute. Like we do share credit cards, like for some I'm an authorized user and for some of mine, like he's an authorized user. But yeah, like even with that, like I would have never gotten to that point. I would have been like, okay, just open your own. Like I was just so sheltered with like the things that I had. And it's just Like I just did not want to share, and like anytime that was threatened, it was like, ugh.
Is you think that's because you had so many siblings?
I don't know. I mean, like I didn't share with them either that
'Cause I can
much,
see that
yeah.
with
But
some of my kids now. Like my oldest daughter, she probably see this, but she be like, I won't. We all gotta share the load, right? So, but she sometimes feels like I can't have my own, even though she gets like a ton of things on her own. Like she has her own
hmm
room, own setup, all that stuff. But sometimes I think that she just feels like how come I can't have this to myself? Well, I don't want to share. But yeah, I don't know. I'm the youngest of two, and I was like the baby. So,
hmm
um, yeah, and I always was free to give. So because I wanted people to be at the crib, so I never experienced that. But yeah,
Yeah, it
so
was just growing up with that American movie type relationship where you see like the woman, like she's like, she's like super boss mode, but she like has a man at the same time, but she's like super boss mode. But it's like, okay, well, when I need you, like you can just come. But other than that, like I'm just gonna do me. It's kind of like the that Neo song where he's like got a
Mr.
woman that
Independent.
wants you, but yeah, like got a woman that wants you but don't need you. Like that was kind of like my outlook for a really long time.
That was her ringtone
But
for a
yeah,
little
I mean,
minute.
but then also just growing up with like my mom wasn't single, but it's like she's not married. Like I've had my stuff. I guess in a sense, like he's my stepfather at this point. But like she's never encouraged like marriage into my life or anything. But like get the money and stuff like that. Like not to like put her in a bad light or anything, but
It don't matter. Make sure she see this.
but
You know, man.
anyway, but yeah, not to put her in a bad light or anything, but it's just something that wasn't prioritized. So it's like I didn't know what that looked like sharing a space with somebody, but also like sharing me with somebody too. So yeah, I guess that's something I struggled with up until we like I'll probably say like 2 years of marriage, like a year and a half. Like it was still pretty tough for me.
What's a concept that you guys both had or a misconcept that you both had that you had to work through together
Hold on.
going into
But
marriage?
so about this bank account thing, we don't have a joint checkings account, not because we don't want to, it's just because we lazy. Like we not afraid of having a
Yeah.
joint
Yeah, we're both trustworthy. So
checkings account. Like if we want to do it, we'll do it. Like it is what it is. Like it's not we not having a heart attack with the thought of saying, let's put all our money to man, look, if she
Yeah.
wanna do it, we do it.
yeah.
It don't
I
matter.
mean, y'all got access to each other. Y'all not hiding nothing. You ain't got no
Yeah,
secret account over
exactly.
in Spain
Exactly.
somewhere, nothing like
Yeah.
that. All good.
Or maybe.
But yeah, what's one of the things that you guys
Mm.
maybe the same thing that you guys had like a misconcept that you both had together
Mm.
going
Good
into
question.
marriage that you guys had to work through?
For me, I can't even think of any. Like because like all that stuff, like every single um societal construct, I went right at it head on. I'm like, all this, you got roles and all of that. No, like whatever roles we create is because we agree to it on our own terms. Society is not gonna base how we run our marriage. Like for example, um, people say men don't wash dishes
Oh, that's a
or
lie.
or
'Cause,
women don't take out trash,
yeah,
right?
I'm the dishwasher
And
in the
that's
crib.
cool, right? I don't want her taking out the trash, right? But she could take out the trash. Like she not gonna die from taking out the garbage.
Yeah.
I could wash the dishes. Like or just the way people run their households and different stuff like that. They trying like all types of craziness, like the way people raise their kids, all type of stuff. Like they try and force that on you. And then you can't talk about it. Or they having a heart attack. No, bro. Look, we gonna figure this out. We don't sing this. If it works, it works. Let's try it. If it don't, it don't. And we gonna move on.
But even amongst family, because me and my mom, we was at odds for a little while
Mm.
because some of the ways that she raised me and how she disciplined me, like I don't do that with my kids. And so when she comes and visits, she'll be trying to do that. I'm like,
Mhm.
hold on, my like we don't
Yeah.
do that here. And then she get like offended. Like
Mm.
that's how I raised you. I'm like, I understand that, but
And
just
look at
because
me
you
now.
raised me like that don't mean that it was necessarily right or that's something that I want to do for my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So Even having those tough conversations with like parents and aunties and uncles, and then they be looking at you like, well, we raised you. It's just like, relax. Just because y'all did it don't mean that it's the Bible, right? This ain't the gospel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, having to go through that even like with family is, that's a
That's the
real
biggest
thing.
thing with
Yeah.
family. Um, like I said, my brothers and sisters were my cousins. Like, so trying to navigate that. Um, being so used to being around so many different people, that was something that we had to navigate because she used to just being by herself, like chilling. Or she don't have to be around her sisters or stuff like that. Or they didn't ask the hard questions, right? Or when it comes to conflict, like we can yell to the top of our lungs while in my household, and it look like we finna fight, and we know we just so used to having our tone at a 9 or a 10 because it's 20 other people in this house, and we having our own side conversation, and we so passionate about what we talking about.
Yeah.
The truth is, sometimes it do lead to a fight, but that don't mean I don't like you. That don't mean I hate you,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's totally different on her end.
Yeah.
Like you rather avoid like for them, like they would avoid stuff. They will handle it, but avoid it. We go head on. Like we finna have a debate match, a boxing match.
So is it your family's like, as long as it get done, we don't need to talk about it. But your family's like, we want every detail. Why it happened, what's going
No,
the solution gonna
no.
bring.
That is how her family is. But I'm talking about
So that's that.
the
That's
way
all,
that
that
we
was my question. That's how
no
her
no
family is.
Okay. Yeah.
Long as it get done, it's cool. We don't
no.
need to talk about all the
That's
details.
not her family though. Her
Well,
family they get into they will talk about it. When I say talk about it, I say that loosely. Like they will talk about it. Us, we will fight and still didn't get anything done. But it made you feel good. And so you would do it. And there's no love lost. Because that was just our way of communicating. Like we frustrated at the time. So we'll argue, curse each other out, sometimes fight or whatever case may be. And we never really got to the root of anything.
Yeah, I see him. I
As a
got cousins
whole.
like that.
As
Brothers,
a
they
whole
be
though.
yeah.
As a
breaking
whole.
keyboards over each other's backs and
But
then go out and
because
kick it that night.
yeah, but because of our relationship and our willingness and eagerness to try and understand each other, like we take the things that we learn from that
Yeah.
and the things we learn from each other and we try and use all of it to the best of our ability. Cause like she had to learn how to be able to receive stuff that I say in a certain tone, right? But I also had to learn how to tone it down, right? And
Mhm.
still be firm with what I'm talking about. She had to learn how to get firmer, more firm with the way that she
Mhm.
talked, and also not be afraid to say what's on her mind. So it was a whole different.
It's a question for both of y'all. But
Mhm.
are you a man's man? Like,
Uh,
I gotta make the money. I gotta
no,
go to
that's
work.
trash. That
She
is
ain't
weak.
got like
No,
you know how it is nowadays. Are you
that's
one of those guys?
stupid.
Or if
That
she
is
making
stupid.
like 100K, you good with like I'm staying home. Like I stay with the baby at the crib. If she making like millions of dollars, you good
I'm
with
not
that?
staying at the crib. No way. Like,
But you not insecure.
no,
Like if she make more money than
no,
you good.
absolutely.
Right now. What about you?
Like if
Are you like a woman's woman? Like he has to go to work. He needs to bring in the money. He can't just sit home. Even if he is like working, what if he like works in the ministry or something? But
mhm.
you feel like he needs to be outside the house, or what's
um
your view of?
probably now I have that point of view only because I'm not working, of course. But that's a different situation.
Can't just
But
pray stuff into you.
yeah, that's why I was like, I mean, if we're I don't know. I guess I guess I'll talk about the now and then. So for now, like for me, since I'm not working and stuff, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like cool, like as long as you're like making a way to, provide for a family. Like I'm really relying on like a person now, like I don't have my own income. Like we live off of one income now. So it's like I feel like maybe, yeah, not in a malicious way, but more so like this is the dynamic that we agreed on. We wanted to do that works best for us with me like taking a break from work and staying at home, and raising our children. Well, I shouldn't say like not so much alone, but like spending a majority of those first like few years with them for a certain amount of hours. But like that's what works for us now. Previously, mm, I wouldn't want him to stay in the house. You don't have to be like a super go-getter entrepreneur where you're trying to like come across like $100,000 in like a week or so. But like how he started Saved by the Ball and like extended it like that. I think that's great.
Did you have
But
like a when you were younger, like
oh
I want my
yeah.
husband to make this amount of money?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
What
I
was
was
that? What
like
was that number?
either I'm gonna make my own or marry and rich
What was
like
that
that.
number? What was the minimum that
The minimum?
like you like if I be the man, he got to make this? What was the
Okay, well, it was definitely like six figures. I'd probably say like, well, to me, before I realized $100,000 isn't like an entirely bunch of money. $100,000,
but like
yeah. I'm
but
like, it's really not
in the
that
high
much
school
money. But when I was
early
like
college, you
five, one
said
hundred thousand dollars sounds like a lot.
you know what's
But
funny is
like,
that I think like how do you in a relationship with somebody that you thinking about marrying? This person don't make that much money, so what's up?
but
And they're not
yeah.
doing nothing right now too.
I mean, but he let me know from the jump he might not like make that. But I mean, my perspective changed a little bit.
No.
But
So the first conversation we had was I told her, like, well, the profession that I'm going into, I'm probably gonna be broke for the rest of my life. So
I was okay
what you
with
gonna
that.
do? And she
Well,
said, okay.
Right, I was like,
I'm like,
okay.
I bet.
well, broke is a concept and it's also uh physical reality as well. But y- you ain't gonna be making yeah.
I'm not gonna be
You can't be rich working for nonprofits.
exactly.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Got you.
You can, but they gonna send you right to hell.
Yeah. You rich at the nonprofit and that's like
Yeah, I
your
was about
main
to say,
stream of
yeah, where's
income is
that coming
like
from?
you ain't
Yeah.
got you must got zero employees or you not paying them well at all.
Yeah.
A couple more questions. And I'm gonna let you guys get on out of here. Um, what's the biggest strength of your relationship?
It ain't that hard. Now, our biggest strength is the fact that I let her know that we gonna start with Christ as the center of what we doing,
Mm.
and that and what that means is we fighting for interdependence. Like all that, I do this, you do that. No, like that ain't how life
Yeah.
work. That is not a marriage. You trying to hold on to your individuality more than you trying to fight to be interdependent with the person that you are. You supposed to be trying to fight to become one, and that's what we fight toward all the time.
Put a little bit more meat on it for the listeners and the viewers.
Um,
Some of them might not understand Christian lingo.
so most marriages end because somebody has committed to being selfish. However, the success of being married stems from the willingness for both people to do the most selfish act, which means you should be dedicated to trying to do the best for the other person. And if you working that hard to do the best for the other person, 99.999 times out of 10, it's gonna benefit you. That's what makes it selfish, because you're being selfless by looking out for the best interest of the other person, and because of that, they so confident in what you trying to accomplish, and so there's no pressure. Like you're not just moving. Like every move that I make, in terms of like ministry, in terms of like a job, occupation, all of that, I'm considering her. Like I'm asking
Yeah.
her. Like I'm doing that all the time. Like I'm not excluding her. And when I am excluding her, I give her the freedom to allow to speak into my life and say, look, maybe you should have did that. And I do it. I try and create this space where she's not uncomfortable with telling me that, dude, you just excluded me. Like, I know you're not trying to be like mischievous or nothing or sneaky, but you just excluded me. I
Mhm.
would like to be a part of that type of conversation, like the smallest thing. And because of that, I'm confident in her. I'm like I trust her 100%. Like I'm giving every part of me. I try and make sure I give her the best of what I have and not the rest of what I have,
Mhm.
while also walking in my calling as well. And like because of that, she encouraged me to do what I feel like God has called me to do. She like, yeah, go ahead, yeah, go ahead. So it's not a clash
Yeah,
ever. So that's the way I see it. But
that's good. Amber.
I guess something similar to that. I guess during marriage, before the marriage, since we've been together for like a pretty long time now, I probably say for strength, our morals complement each other and what we want, like from the different lifestyles that we've even grown up from, but being able to pinpoint from those lifestyles what we don't want to see in our future and things of that nature, but just working toward like the center of Christ, working toward like understanding each other. Um, I have a more passive way of like trying to understand people, like with arguments and things of that nature, compared to what he was talking about with his lifestyle and growing up and handling conflict with like siblings or cousins or things of that nature. But yeah, I'll definitely say like our morals complementing each other. And really wanting to grow from what we saw growing up was definitely a strength. Yeah.
How has Jesus impacted your marriage?
he a foundation of it.
Yeah.
He is literally the foundation of it. Like it was things that I was insecure about. Um, that God was the only person that I was
Mhm.
confident with knowing.
Mm.
She knows those. She knows all of those things. And if Christ wasn't the person to where my security stems from, I can't give it all to her. I can't give her my insecurities.
Mhm.
Right. And because of that, um, I value her opinion over everybody's. Like I don't like I'm the man, like I'm him. Not because I say I am, but because she say I am. Because Christ says I am.
Mhm.
Like I don't need the approval of anybody. Yes, it feels good when people compliment you or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, I'm not shaken or moved when somebody don't ain't feeling me. Cause she feeling me. Like he feeling me. I'm straight. Like, and it took me a while to be able to get there. But she helped me get there.
Mhm.
Because when it was things that I forgot that God knew about me and I slowly gave them to her, right? I'm like, it made me think like, how can she still like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And then because of the relationship that we have with Christ and where we started at, and I was like, look, we always gonna try and fight to get right there in the middle.
Mhm.
Let's try and fight to get there. Whatever we doing, let's try and fight to get there.
Yeah.
Not for us to try and hold on to our individuality, but for us to fight for our unity within what Christ is, right there in the middle, every single time. And so we don't really have arguments. We may have a disagreement, but we don't have arguments. Like what we trying to one up the next person or no, like no. It's simply because we stupid. Like if we have an argument, it's because we stupid and we trying to learn something. And so it's never me versus her. It's me versus the thing, like whatever that thing is.
Got you.
So
I would probably say knowing lovable boundaries, whether that's between each other or like outside of our relationship, like with family and stuff. I definitely think that was something that we struggled with in the beginning, and how we had family involved in our relationship, and
Mm.
knowing that there wasn't too much of a reliable opinion we could actually consider, that made it really complicated. So it's like just understanding like the sacredcy of our relationship definitely changed, like with just having like a Christ-centered marriage,
mm,
and knowing like who we can trust, or like whether that's an older couple that we're mentored by, or trying to find people who are around our age with a similar dynamic of us like being married at a young age and things of that nature. But yeah, I definitely say like that was a big impact for us, just understanding those lovable boundaries.
That's good. That's good. Last question. How's it been serving together, the youth at Slam? How's that been? How long did y'all do it together? I know
Together in
you've
what,
been
like,
2 years.
yeah, I was gonna say 2
2 years.
years. Yeah.
Okay. How was that? Like, how was it? I know both of y'all kind of got different perspectives because y'all know two different sides. But
Yeah,
how
like I
is it?
was front lines and you were a mentor. I probably say outside of him constantly coming up to me during each
I'm
game.
just glad
Like
she not there no more, cause she be cheating.
I do not cheat.
Like, I'm glad.
You think
Every
everybody cheat on the
time.
games,
Every
man?
time
She
I
be
see
trying to
him
prove
coming
a
up
point. Like,
out of
she
that
be
flood of
cheating.
students, I'm like, oh
You
gosh,
think
what is it
everybody
this
cheat though?
time?
No matter who it is, you be like, oh, y'all cheating.
No, I
Y'all just
don't.
didn't win. So
It is what it is. I'm just glad. I'm glad she knocked up. Now she got to go
Oh
lay
my
down
god.
somewhere. And she
all right, but
can't
when
get
she
no
was
Yeah.
listen.
there, outside of you
But
thinking she was cheating, like how was it? Like the mindset of seeing your spouse serving at a place with you.
We worked at the same place
we
numerous
did,
times.
yeah.
Okay.
So we worked for By the Hand. We worked at Wildman together. All type of stuff. We basically grew up together. We became adults together. So
Hmm.
it ain't nothing like
Y'all
I'm
be
used
flirting
to
with
it.
each other at these places. Y'all be working at and serving at.
Have you seen
I,
us flirt?
I don't pay
Hey,
that
I
much
probably
attention.
I
I
probably
then.
say like Slim is probably the most we've probably flirted because like by the hand, like
You
I
can't be
was just
saying that
like,
on here. People gonna be watching.
oh, I mean, well, I'm not there anymore, so is it fine? But,
Oh man.
Hey, but I tell you what though, one of the hardest things about being married for us, is being the example.
yeah.
Like, you know how when you want to go somewhere, amongst people where you can grow, where they gonna challenge you to grow.
Yeah.
Like, we are the anomaly in most of our circles.
Mm.
Like, my mama wasn't married, my daddy wasn't married. I've seen unsuccessful marriages, uh, and we don't believe in taking advice from people who are not in positions where we desire to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that could be tiring. That could be tiring, especially when people are so um complacent. Like,
Yeah.
they comfortable with being complacent in where
Hmm.
they are, and they embrace society's shallow standards, all of that. So when you get married, just make sure you surround yourself around people that you aspire to be like, or
Yeah.
respect, not even
Hmm.
aspire to
Now
be like.
that's real. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why me and Tawatha we've been together now. What 12 years of marriage,
Oh,
20
that's
years
awesome.
total.
You blinked and it was
Uh
12, right?
man, bro, came out of nowhere. But in the beginning, man, we was going through a whole bunch of marriage classes. Not just because like our marriage was in trouble, but we started learning a whole bunch of things and getting different perspectives. And then we was
Yeah.
around a lot of older couples that, like you said, we could learn from, that we like respected, and we was like, man, how do we get to that place? How do we put ourselves in position where our marriage can last like theirs is? And so, no, that's real to be in that place. But you guys are breaking generational curses, man, of just
I
being
hope so.
together.
Yeah. Right. I
And
hope so.
then was the plan to wait to have a child, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the plan.
that was the
Yeah.
plan.
I think I delayed about like 4 years, but yeah, that was the plan.
That's a good plan. I think everybody should wait at least 2 years, travel, have fun, like really get to know each other.
Hmm.
You get married, then you got to instantly put on the dad hat. It's just two different roles. It could be a lot,
Hmm.
Mm.
because you still trying to learn this woman that you just committed to spending your life with,
Yeah.
and now I got to learn this kid,
Mm.
and then I still got to do all these things. And so I think everybody should wait before they. I mean, unless you like older, you like biological clock is ticking. But if you young enough, wait before you have
Yeah.
kids.
So with that, like, it's so funny to me because, like, we was married the first day she said we in here, when she was like, bet. That was my mindset.
That was the commitment.
Yeah.
That's the
That
commitment
was
word.
that was my mindset. And so I treated her as such, as if she was my wife, right? Of course, we didn't have unlimited benefits or stuff like that. But as far as like the respect that I have for her, where that I carry myself, that the expectations, standards that I have for her
Hmm.
and me, like asking the hard question was Like we been together for 11 years. So I get when people say that, right? When you say wait this, wait that. Well, that's because you wasted so much time early on. You was playing games. Like you told, just when you date somebody, you should be saying, like, you don't need to date them to get to know them. Why not just be their friend? Like, but if you're gonna date them, that means come on, let's go. We trying to do it. That was my perspective of it. And so that's what I told her from the jump. And she agreed with it. And so I treated her as such.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think people should be dating for like 4 and 5 years. We see so many people do that. I think, man, once you get to know, you identify this person, I'm attracted to them. I like them. I want to be with them. You pursue them.
Yeah.
Once y'all know each other's names, you should be off to the races, right? And then all the other stuff will work itself out as you
Mhm.
guys get to know each other. I say even if you do the talking phase should be like no more than 3 months.
What?
No
I was
more.
3
like, wait, did we
months.
Some
even
people
do a
say
talking
uh,
phase? We didn't
people
believe in
got talking
that.
phases now. So they got the
Oh yeah,
That
they
you're
got
is
the
right. You're
weird.
right.
no, they got the
Yeah.
talking phase, they got the dating phase, and they got the go together phase.
Oh my
So
gosh,
it's
it's
like
like a
three
job
phases
That's
to
so
interview.
like being in a
weird.
relationship.
It's a job
Yeah,
interview.
I show my age when I start talking about this stuff. But
I
yeah,
don't
I
believe in
think
any
if
of
you go
that.
talk to
Like,
somebody before y'all like exclusive, the max number should be 3 months, and then it should be like we go together. We about to work on getting married now. Like engagements coming soon. Like you should be
Yeah.
engaged within a year and a half.
like don't
Like
stop putting timelines and stuff out there, buddy. You gonna get canceled
nah,
right
that
there,
that be
right
alright. They
now.
can't cancel me. They go cancel. What they gonna cancel? I ain't making no money yet. Make sure y'all
You-
like and subscribe to the channel. I ain't
this
made
gonna
it
be
yet.
the off
But
season.
Right.
they ain't
The
canceled.
off
Stop.
season.
They ain't
Stop.
canceled nothing yet.
The permanently off. Forget that the stop season.
Don't worry, I'ma just pop up on somebody else's
But yeah,
website.
all that talking stuff is trash, bro. That's just an excuse for people to have options.
Cause you gonna continue to
If you,
talk. That's what marriage
Yeah.
is. It's a non-stop talking.
Yeah.
what are you talking
And
about?
as I mean, we didn't get to this point, but as times change, right? Like you gonna eventually, like as you grow and mature, you're gonna like things either less or more, right? Um, um, she's gonna change or like not like to do things or want to try more things, and there's always gonna be a period. It's a continual cycle of learning each other and growing together
Yeah.
because things change. I mean, I got 5 kids, and so with each kid, my wife went through something, and I had to learn how to be sensitive to what
Mm-hmm.
she was going through, and I had to talk and learn, and I'm not the most sensitive dude, at least I didn't used to be. Cause it was like you don't show emotions, you don't be sensitive. It's like, all right,
Mhm.
this happened, all right, get over it. Let's like we got to keep
Exactly.
it moving.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to like pause, and she ain't grow up like that. So man, how do I serve my wife in this season, right? Like, you know, to let y'all in a little bit and something personal. Like when we lost two children back to back. She had 2 miscarriages at
Mhm.
20 weeks to the date, and yeah, the first one I was just like, you know, okay, we lost the baby, and then you take your time, but then eventually like let's get back on,
Mhm.
and then like it happened again, and I kind of had that same mindset, and then I had like a whole bunch of people like pull me to the side, like, bro, that's not how this works, bro. Like she lost 2 babies that was growing inside of her. Like she had a deeper connection with those child than like you can imagine. And to rush her through that process, like you being a real jerk right now. And so then I had somebody had to check me on that, and then sitting down and really thinking about it was just like, yeah, I can't rush her through that process. And I was grieving too, but just in my own way. Like I
Mhm.
grieve by just being busy. It's just like, let's go, right? But yeah, my wife, she couldn't be busy, right? She was a stay-at-home mom. She was raising the other kids and still trying to deal with the death of these 2 kids. So it was just a lot. And so, yeah, you're gonna go through things like that, and you gotta know how do I serve this person? Sometimes it's just a period of just sitting there and being quiet and just being present and just like, man, you get you a bottle of water or what you want to eat tonight, little stuff like that. Or man, let me rub your feet, or just sitting there in silence, right, doing nothing, watching a movie or something. Like you ain't always gotta come up with some crazy deep theological solution and give some long speech. It could just be your presence, just being there and saying like, "Hey, I'm here with whatever you need." And so, yeah, sometimes that's the best thing. And so I had to learn that. Yeah,
I hate it, but I do it.
yeah.
It's a
I didn't
privilege.
like it, and I ain't like the people when they checked me neither. But I was like, they right, they right. So they was in a position where they could speak into my life. You know what I'm saying? And I had to be like, are they saying that because they don't like me, or they got something against me, or they just giving me truth and I'm refusing to accept it right now? And I was refusing to accept truth. And yeah. And so man, I appreciate y'all. When that baby do again?
Well, it's guesstimated June 13th, so we got like a couple of weeks left, a few
Nah, but
weeks left.
Juneteenth, baby.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be raw.
That would.
Well, one, I'm supposed to be performing
Oh,
Juneteenth.
oh, you,
Okay.
Oh, you missed it. I gotta share something with you. I share with you off camera. But appreciate y'all. What y'all having?
A girl.
Girl.
We're having a girl.
Girl. It's Antoine with a girl. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I got a lot of girls already, man. Like 100 of
If
them.
you ain't already soft, this girl gonna soften you up. You think she ain't, she is. I'm telling
How
you.
much more soft do y'all want me to be, bro?
Oh,
Like,
you
I'm the most gentle person.
you a pretty aggressive dude.
With you, because you a dude. I'm not your dad. I'm
You
not your
aggressive.
mama.
We talk out when the cameras is off. Thank y'all. It's been real. Appreciate y'all for watching this video. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Antoine has new music. I'm gonna drop the links to all of them. Apple Music, Spotify, they on all them sites, right?
Yeah.
Anywhere you can stream
Amazon.
music. Amazon, all those places. So I'm gonna drop the link. I'm
Tidal.
gonna have him back on. We're gonna talk about music, his process and stuff. I'll have him back on the
Pandora.
channel soon. So until the next one, my name is Darius, the Weird Perspective. These are the Brewers. We out of here. Peace.
On Shoddy Grave.